For someone who treats the sick, Dr. Jill Ostrager was not prepared for what she faced close to home. Her 3.5-year-old son Andrew was limping, then not walking. Something was wrong. The diagnosis finally came back: stage 4 cancer.
It was a punch in the gut that no parent could even imagine hearing the words that your child has cancer. The only good thing I could say about it is that when it comes to medicine and it comes to hospitals, which are like foreign countries to most people, I speak the language.
But the language was frightening and the disease rare. It's called neuroblastoma.
Neuroblastoma is a cancer that affects almost only children. The first thing we thought about was, where do we go? Who do we talk to?
Jill went to the best hospital for neuroblastoma research, Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York City.
40 years ago, this is a tumor where cure is unthinkable. And then came the Band of Parents.
The Band of Parents. 3 years before Andrew's diagnosis, the Band of Parents was started by those whose children also had neuroblastoma. Like the band of brothers who fought in World War II, these parents declared war on the disease.
I was explaining to the parents what the research was like, what we've done so far, and where I think it should go. And someone just raised their hand and said, "How can we help?" And I said, "There's something that I think you can do. We need support."
Support meant fundraising to continue Dr. Chung's research. The group quickly raised $1 million, and that made a big difference in developing trial treatments. But when Andrew arrived at Sloan Kettering, there was no time to figure out what trials he could get on. Instead, he was immediately subjected to a battery of painful treatments.
The first day he was admitted to Sloan Kettering, they hung chemotherapy. They didn't want to wait. And from there, it was a grueling process. He had a major surgery over 13 hours. He had radiation. We had multiple hospitalizations.
Jill learned about the Band of Parents at the hospital and quickly joined their efforts. And because of research funded by the group, Andrew was able to get on a trial program of immunotherapy. It helps kids' own bodies fight the disease.
Neuroblastoma is a rare cancer. Only 600 cases are diagnosed in the United States a year. And so when it comes to research for rare cancers, especially pediatric cancers, there's no incentive for the pharmaceutical companies to invest money in a drug.
If the drug companies wouldn't put up the money, the Band of Parents would. They raised funds and pushed for research. They would not let their children down. Jill served on its executive board and served as president of Band of Parents for 5 years. With the immunotherapy, Andrew eventually went into remission. But 2 years later, the cancer returned.
We found that he had relapsed. At that point, if you read the textbooks, then the survival rate was 0%.
But there were other therapies in the pipeline. Therapies helped in part by funds raised by Jill and her Band of Parents. Andrew was put on 2 other Phase 1 trials for treatment. Andrew recovered again from what at one time would have been a fatal relapse. Jill's husband, Bruce Cohen, is himself a doctor. She calls him her rock.
I don't think he would be here if it wasn't for the treatment that he had at Sloan Kettering and the treatment that was basically, saved by Band of Parents.
The group also provides support to other parents and arranges housing for those coming to New York from out of town. Jill's 2 older sons got involved as well, organizing for cancer support on their college campuses and working in summer camps with cancer patients. Jill is back working now full-time at her medical practice, but she's not turned her back on Band of Parents and its mission. Probably never will.
Once you're a cancer mom, you don't stop being one. When you've been on those floors and lived for weeks in a pediatric cancer ward, and you share the stories and you share the losses, it stays with you. It's not something that you can let go.
Today, Andrew is a junior at New Rochelle High School, a PAVE student with a love for theater and the arts. Jill's admiration for what Andrew's accomplished is matched by his admiration for his mom and dad.
I'm really proud of my mom in the way that she has helped friends who have cancer through their journeys, It's just something that I think is a part of her identity now, and this need to help others, which I think is really great.
Tonight we honor a mother, doctor, and activist who faced impossible odds and fought back for the life and health of her son.
I accept the honor, really in Andrew's name, because he's the real hero.
Please join me in celebrating her work and the hope she and the band of parents have given to so many. Dr. Jill Ostrager, a 2024 New Rochelle Fund for Educational Excellence honoree.